sits just one game away from repeating as champions and becoming the third program since 2010 to win back-to-back titles in softball. Game 2 will be tonight, and it's set for 7 p.m. in Oklahoma City. Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals will get underway tonight from the Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. The Golden Knights lead the series 1-0, and puck drop is at 7 p.m. tonight. And in the PGA, the Memorial Tournament gets underway today from Muirfield Village Golf Club in Dublin, Ohio. I'm Blake Persher, and you're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. Dawson Iserloh prides himself on taking a deep dive to uncover all the relevant data about the sports and sports teams he loves. And now he's sharing all those facts inside his big brain with all of you. Here is the LohDown with D-Loh on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
It is the LohDown, ESPN 1037 in Lafayette, 1041 in Lake Charles. Anywhere you are with the ESPN Southwest Louisiana mobile app. And the most recent, latest, and greatest way to consume this show is our free YouTube channel, ESPN_SWLA. We are live streaming on YouTube every single day. And we got a lot to get to here on a Thursday. As we mentioned yesterday, there were 3 marquee events, I think, to have on the watch schedule for me at least. We had the Astros and the Pirates with some local ties. We had the Women's College World Series, which I saw the least of the 3. We'll go ahead and admit that, but did see what Texas and Texas Tech were up to. And then we had Knicks Spurs game 1 of the NBA Finals, which lived up to the hype in a lot of ways and had a pretty surprising result in some regards. We're going to split up the recaps and the conversation of these 3 throughout the first hour here. But all in all, it was a pretty cool Wednesday night, right, to have that many big-time events going on. And ironically enough, like, we'll save that for when we talk Astros and Pirates. Like, I said something would happen just because of the way we were talking about it, and that's exactly what went down. We got an interesting poll question today. Apparently there's bets being taken on what I'm going to choose to answer, how I'm going to go with my answer to this question, so that makes me want to kind of zag a little bit, but I'll stick with what I actually had in mind. I won't do that to the people. James and I will do that probably towards the end of this first hour. We should have some time there at the end. We do have 3 guests lined up for today. Seth Lewis is going to be joining us at the bottom of the first hour. As long as his schedule allows it, we will, I'm going back and forth with him a little bit. We'll make sure we can make that work. If not, we'll get him back next week, but that's scheduled for 1:30. 2 o'clock, Micah Butel, normal slot for college baseball talk. We're going to have him on at least a few more weeks. He is going to be on quite the road trip this weekend, as Micah always is, so I look forward to him sharing that with us. I found out his preferred hotel. He's talking about that on social yesterday with all these travels. It's like, man, that's some good questions. I need to ask Micah a few more travel-based questions, so I think we'll dive into that today, and obviously a lot of actual good college baseball to discuss, which we're only a day away from the Supers. This week kind of flew as far as that's concerned because it's always a short week because Monday has the finalization in the last few games of the regionals, and then you only have a few days to turn around and get everything ready to roll. So that should be fun. We'll talk with Micah at the top of hour number 2. And then Coach Theo Slyman's going to join us at the bottom of the second hour. Milan Pike Eater competed in the NCAA championships. It was an up-and-down season for a really young Raging Cajun golf team that I know Coach is excited about the future over there. His son competed on the team this season. And then Milan just had an unbelievable year. Maybe one of, if not the best years in the history of Raging Cajun golf. So he was traveling. He went with Milan out to the championships. And it was a great start, a great storyline, a lot of publicity. It's a really unfortunate ending for Milan. But we're going to talk about all that with Coach Slyman at the bottom of the second hour. So we'll do some golf there with Coach to round out our guest list for today. So all that being said, as I mentioned, a couple different things to get to here in the beginning. So let's start with what was the national event of the night, and that was the Knicks and the Spurs.
D-Loh is the kind of guy that stays locked in. On what? Well, that depends on the night. but you can guarantee there was some sporting event that he found interesting. It's time to find out what D-Loh was locked in on the Lowdown.
So as I mentioned, right, it's game one of the NBA Finals. Hey, the NBA did do some stuff to try to bring back some fan favorites. We had an NBA Finals logo on the court that wasn't like CGI'd in at the last minute. That was nice. That was nostalgic. I thought ABC's coverage, and I said yesterday, one of the main things that I wanted to look at early in this event was, does it kind of match that feel that we've come to know and love about the finals that maybe have not been there all that much recently? And I think there was a lot of that stuff. There was a lot of good presentation elements. I thought the introduction was well done. It was cinematic. I think Mike Breen's awesome, so I loved his call of it. Broadcasting nerd, so I get a little bit more excited about some of those things. It felt like a big-time event, so that was good. Then the game itself, man, I mean, this Knicks team is just down for whatever. And, I got to say, they're really, really fun to watch, and so all the fun we've made of them over the years and stuff, like this is a team that I'm enjoying watching play night in and night out. And, the Brunson injury scares you early for sure. It's a knee thing, and then you see him, and obviously they have all the cameras going back to the tunnel, and then he comes out, and he's trying to fool with the knee brace or the knee sleeve, and then that's not really working or fitting, and you're like, uh-oh, this is rough. Is this going to change this entire series? And then all he did was go out and drop 30 with all that going on. I mean, incredible stuff. Maybe the most Josh Hart line in his entire career last night. Josh Hart, let's go through it for you. 27 minutes. He had 3 points, 1 of 5 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3. 15 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, and a block. I mean, it is the most Josh Hart line you could ever put together. Even when the scoring's not... Oh, by the way, plus 22 is plus minus highest on either team last night. So Josh Hart impacted winning, as he always does, despite the fact that he was not scoring it. They left him open sometimes. He wasn't able to knock the shots down. It didn't matter. He is so fun. Alvarado was awesome off the bench, man. 7 points, 4 boards. He was active. He gave them a nice spark there, especially when Brunson was out, because at that point, I was sitting there thinking to myself, is Jose Alvarado about to have to play like 25, 30 minutes in this game if Brunson either can't return or is just kind of hobbling around out there? But as I mentioned, all those concerns kind of went away because Brunson ends up playing 37 minutes. He ends up looking mostly like himself. I mean, maybe there was a couple hesitations here and there, but for the most part, he looked fine. And so you do always wonder, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of reporting on it, does that knee stiffen up today? How's he feel this morning? Maybe, you get through the game and then things might sometimes get worse. So we'll see what he looks like in game 2 tomorrow night. But, and he didn't have his best stuff. He said it after the game too. And it was kind of funny. Like he's sitting there with a line that has 30 points and 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, I should say, on it. And he's like, I just didn't have my best stuff. And he's right. I mean, he didn't. He got to the free throw line only 4 times. He made all 4. And so it was 30, but it was like a workman's like 30-point performance. I mean, he had to really grind to get there. And on the other side of it, look, if this is what it's going to look like for Wembanyama in this series, they're going to have some trouble. Now, I think he's going to play better than this. 6 of 21 from the field and 2 of 9 from 3 is just not going to cut it. We know that. Now, the Knicks had a decision to make, and they made the decision. We're going to have to give him some open looks from the outside. And he shot 2 of 9. So that worked for them in that game. If they continue to do that, like we've seen over the course of the season, 35% from three-point range this year, he can get hot out there. He can knock a few down and kind of scare you. So that strategy I don't think is going to work every game of this series, but it worked in game 1, and it helped them kind of come back. And remember, this is a comeback effort once again for the Knicks, which is what has been the theme for them all year long. To be down in San Antonio with the home crowd, which was rocking. It was obviously, though, a notable number of Knicks fans in the building. And if you saw it, like there was some jokes and conversation on socials about the fact that it was cheaper for a lot of Knicks fans to fly to San Antonio and get a hotel room and buy tickets to that game than it would be to just try and get tickets at the Garden because of how massive the scalping prices and, $1,000 get-in-the-door prices and whatever else they're expecting in MSG in Game 3. So there were definitely some Knicks fans in the building, but still a nice environment. Spurs still doing the striped crowd thing, even when they don't wear the uniforms. Not sure it's like it was cool. I think it's a novelty thing. I feel like you got to limit that to once a series, though. I don't know if you do that every game of the postseason, but they're sticking with it, and hey, they're in the finals, so I guess they're going to keep rolling with what got them here. Champagnie continues to be awesome for San Antonio. Hit 5 threes in this game. And there was a little stare-down match with he and Alvarado for a stretch that I was enjoying, where Jose hit a 3, and of course he let him know about it, and then Champagnie hit one right back in his face on the other end, and he let him know about it. So those were some fun minutes. I just ultimately, San Antonio, this is a game where I do walk away from this game still feeling like the Spurs are the better team. They didn't have a good Wemby game. They really didn't have a ton of big performances from a lot of their other role players. Like De'Aaron Fox was pretty absent on offense. Vassell didn't do a whole lot. Harrison Barnes played 12 minutes and didn't score. Like, they're going to get better performances from their peripheral options. And hey, the old thing, right? Role players play well at home and not on the road. That's supposed to be how it is. Well, this was a home game, and a lot of their role players didn't play great. I mean, Castle was fine. Dylan Harper's defense and energy is awesome, and he gave you 16, but they just didn't get those types of performances. And when like a Landry Shamet gives the Knicks 13 off the bench. That's a role player who stepped up, played 33 minutes last night and was big. And they'll play Shamet sometimes when Hart's not playing well offensively. And last night, Shamet comes in and kind of picks up some of that slack. And as I mentioned before, Hart did all the other stuff well. He did all the defending and, setting up transition looks, getting tough rebounds. I mean, Josh Hart's got to be the best 6'5" rebounder in the NBA. You're not going to find a 6'5" rebounder in the league better than Josh Hart. Up against guys that are way bigger than him, it doesn't matter. He knows how to position the ball. He knows how to position himself, I should say. He knows how the ball's going to bounce. Reminds me of the old Dennis Rodman clips from the Last Dance documentary, where he's talking about how he just started, getting the ball thrown at the rim and figure out where's the ball going to bounce. How am I going to be the best rebounder? And obviously played a pretty big role in Michael Jordan's success in those Bulls runs. The new thing I've been in on, by the way, there's this thing called 82-0. If you haven't seen this, if you remember the whole, we had this whole run of just like little trendy games to play on your phone every day. The Immaculate Grid, right? That one caught fire. So 82-0, essentially, you go to this website and it will spin a wheel for you, and it'll give you an era, like a decade, and a team. And you have to pick a player from that team in that decade, and then you get 5 of them, right? And you got to fill out a roster, and the goal is to put together an 82-0 team. So obviously, like if you got 90s Jordan on the Bulls and 2000s LeBron on the Cavs and 1960s Wilt Chamberlain, like if you put together those types of teams, you'll have a shot to do it. I've been doing this the whole time, and what I like to do, if you haven't done this yet, you can either show the stats, so that's obviously kind of like helping you out, especially for some of these 60s and 70s guys that you might not remember or have ever seen play. Or you can do what they call IQ mode, where the stats are hidden, and you've just got names of players and positions. And so that's what I've been doing it on. It is kind of addicting. And to go through, and some of these players where I'll be looking through and I'll know a name, and I'll be like, all right, Steve Kerr, but it's like 90s Steve Kerr. And I'm like, man, Steve Kerr's heyday was kind of the 80s, and when he went to the Wizards, I don't know if he was still putting up those types of numbers, and you play that game with yourself, it's pretty addicting. It's pretty fun. So that's been what I've been occupying some of my free time, and what got me kind of fired up and in the mood to do it was the NBA Finals on last night, and so I think my best I've done, remember, I do not do the one where you can see the stats. I think the best I've done is 72-10. Haven't gotten 82-0 yet, so we'll see. See if we get there. I keep getting the Charlotte Hornets in the 2000s, and that's just not fair. There weren't a lot of great players on the Charlotte Hornets in the decade of 2000 to 2009, in case you didn't notice. All right, we'll take a timeout after this. Spurs are down 1-0. We will switch gears a little bit. We'll talk about the pitching matchup. The Aces, runs were going to be hard to come by, weren't they? About that. We'll talk about it after the break. It's a LohDown.
This is the LohDown with D-Loh. Live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Delta Media Corp is hiring immediately for a media account executive. Our fast-paced radio, television, and digital media company is looking for a people person who enjoys building relationships with local businesses and, of course, helping them grow at the same time. This is perfect if you're looking for a fresh start or a new challenge. Sales experience is preferred, but it's not required. We will teach, train, and support the right candidate. What matters most is confidence, communication skills, personality, and the ability to connect. If you're ready to leave your job and start an exciting new career, we'd love to talk to you. Email our general manager, Johnette Cochran. Email address is jcochran, that's jcochran, at deltamediacorp.com. Delta Media Corp is an equal opportunity employer.
Make sure to set your alarm and tune in Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock for Sports Shorts here on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Join me, Ronnie Rance, and the Sports Shorts team of Tommy Christsan, Hunter McCann, and the crazy man, Joel Davis, as we break down the sports and teams that you love. The LSU Tigers, New Orleans Saints, and everything in between. Tune in Saturday mornings from 10 to noon for Sports Shorts here on Southwest Louisiana's Sports Station.
Did you know you can get great tasting Clear Springs artesian water delivered to your office or your doorstep at home? Clear Springs is 100% local with their own bottling facility at the world-famous Kentwood Aquifer, no chemicals added. Just pure Kentwood, Louisiana artesian water. Clear Springs Water offers delivery of 5 or 3-gallon water service with a hot and cold temperature water cooler or even single-serve bottles delivered to your home or office. Easy to reach, clearsprings.net, then contact us tab or 337-519-3563.
Before hitting the road, get hooked up at Match Trailers on Bertrand Drive. Everything you need from truck equipment, accessories, and trailer parts, Match Trailers has it. Match Trailers, 1849 Bertrand Drive in Lafayette, or give Matt a call at 235-7534.
Imagine building your dream backyard pool without ever leaving your couch. With Duplessis Builders, you can go shop our in-ground gunite pool packages online, start to finish. Browse our pool designs, compare features, see exactly what's included, and choose the package that fits your style and budget. Once you purchase, our team takes over. From permit and excavation to gunite decking and final startup, you click, we build, you swim. Your backyard upgrade is just a few clicks away. Visit duplessisbuilders.net and buy your pool online today.
MeTV is America's #1 classic entertainment television network. And here's one of the reasons everybody loves MeTV.
Oh, it's a classic.
The great comedy lineup on weeknights.
This will be fun. Come on.
With MASH.
Loaded with snappy comebacks.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I was just funning with Barney.
And Everybody Loves Raymond.
Now we got a show.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on Channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
We are the soldiers of the Louisiana Army National Guard. We are your neighbors. We are your sons and daughters. While we serve part-time, we are learning valuable life and job skills. We are earning money for college, for trade and technical schools, and for certifications. We are proud to serve both our country and our home state. We are your Louisiana Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Delta Home Center and Delta Trailer Sales, your one-stop shop for utility and cargo trailers. Heavy-duty dump and gooseneck trailers, portable buildings, cabins, decks, porches, fences, carports, and site-built metal shops. Located at Exit 7 in Carencro or at deltatrailersales.com.
The biggest headlines in the world of sports are discussed here. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
It was supposed to be the battle of the aces, right? And I joked with James. I actually said to James Mesh, this is when you start, you talk all about these two great pitchers, and it's ace versus ace. It's Skeens and it's Arrighetti. Arrighetti's been the best pitcher in the American League this year. Skeens has been the best pitcher in the National League for more than a year now. This is going to be a pitcher's duel. Runs are hard to come by. And I said, you know what? This is the type of game that'll just end up 10-8. And it wasn't 10-8. It was 11-9. I was one run off with my sarcastic response there about how the scoring would go in this game. It was not the ace battle that it was billed up to be, but it was still an incredible baseball game for the Houston Astros because of the comeback they put together. So, both starters, Skeens and Arrighetti, they looked good early. They looked like themselves. 3 straight zeros put up for Arrighetti, 2 straight for Skeens. The Astros got to Paul in the bottom of the third inning, but to be honest with you, it was kind of some tough luck stuff there. It was a couple hard-hit ground balls that could have found gloves but didn't. But hey, Astros did a nice job putting the ball in play against the tough right-hander, grabbed themselves a 2-0 lead. Jordan Alvarez, by the way, went 4 for 5 last night. Drove in 2. He's unbelievable. Even against Skeens, he wasn't having much trouble. Then in the top of the fourth, Astros now have this newfound 2-0 lead. 2 outs, nobody on base, and it was the classic bleeder, blooper, and a blast, right? They get the bases loaded with a walk and a bloop hit, and all of a sudden the bases are loaded. There's still 2 outs, And then the bottom of the order, Henry Davis, who's hitting closer to 100 than 200, hits a grand slam, no-doubter, moonshot way over the train tracks. 4-2 now, Pittsburgh takes the lead. And because of some pitch count stuff, now look, I was honestly very surprised that they didn't send Arrighetti back out for the fifth inning. But with 83 pitches and 4 innings of laboring work, they decided that was enough for him. They went to the bullpen. From there, the Pirates took further control of this game, and at one point, Pittsburgh led it 8-3 going into the bottom of the 7th. Then the Astros got 2. Then the Pirates got 1. So it's 9-5 headed to the bottom of the 8th. Looks like the Stros are going to drop another disappointing game here and continue their slide. And then all of a sudden, the offense came to life. The Stros would get 6 in the bottom half of the 8th inning to come all the way back. Yordan Alvarez had an RBI single to get it going. Christian Walker hit a little blooping bleeder that spun around in the infield, and they couldn't toss him out at first. Isaac Paredes walked, and there was a wild pitch that scored the tying run, and then Cam Smith tripled home a couple to give the Stros the lead. They go on to win at 11-9. Josh Hader made his season debut. How about Josh Hader with the fireman intro, getting the juice back into the building? He used to be able to call it the juice box. Can't really do that anymore. So all in all, what was a weird night because you expected to have this pitcher's duel between Skeens and Arrighetti, and it turned into a bullpen fest for 5+ innings, still ends with the Astros. And look, the broadcast team on the TV side of it, Todd Callis and Jeff Blum called it perhaps the best win of the season for the Astros, and I don't think I can disagree. You score 6 in the bottom of the 8th, and by the way, did it off of some of the best arms, including Gregory Soto, the closer of this Pirates team. Stros didn't have any problems with him at all. 3 hits and 3 earned runs. He didn't get anybody out. He faced 4 batters, didn't get any of them. Had to leave the game. Soto's ERA balloons up to 2.86. He had been lights out before this. So some really good stuff that happens down the stretch of a game that looked like it might be ugly. By the way, to kind of further iterate the point there of what Soto's ERA, it was 1.91 going into last night's outing. He leaves at 2.86. So his ERA for the season jumped by almost an entire run in the span of 4 batters. That's how quickly stuff can bite you when you're a relief pitcher in the major leagues. So Stros get the win. They get to 28-35 overall. Pittsburgh falls to 33-29. Standings-wise, Seattle did finally lose another game, so they have now fallen to 33-30 after their 8-game winning streak. And the Astros are 5 games behind those division-leading Mariners. When you look at the wild card standings right now, the Athletics hold the final spot with Texas a half game back. The Stros are 3 games back in that conversation. No one in the American League is more than 7 games behind the or the wild card standings to get into the playoffs, right? The Angels are 7 games back. They are the farthest back of anyone. In the National League, the Rockies are 9.5 back. So there's no team, already in June, there's no team that's double-digit games out of postseason play right now. It looked like maybe the Rockies were going to be terrible and have like an awful season. It looked like maybe the Angels, but those teams have at least gotten back to respectability. Like 38% win percentage being the lowest of any team in the big leagues this year so far. That's not terrible. Like that would be, if you did 38 games, 38% win percentage across the course of 162 games, that'd be a 62-win team. You'd be right at 100 losses. So yeah, you'd be bad, but you wouldn't be like all-time bad. So just interesting to note there in the era of like really bad teams in some of these professional sport leagues. We've seen what the NBA's looked like. We've seen what the White Sox looked like a couple of years ago. It doesn't seem like we have any of those like just historically awful squads going on right now in the league. So all that being said, we did get some more transfer portal news for Raging Cajun baseball. And look, it's not great to lose players and to lose depth pieces. So, it's not a good thing, but it's still none of the main core guys that you're really, really counting on to return to this team. So there are 9 players in the transfer portal for UL baseball right now. Owen Galt, Kaysen Bellard, Trip Dobson, Maddox Mendino, Cole Flanagan, Griff Hebert, Calvin Alfonso, Jace LaCava, Will Taylor. I can go through each one of these. Will Taylor barely pitched this year. It's not hard to figure out, like maybe he wants an opportunity to play more, right? Jace LaCava had a few starts, showed some flashes, but the outfield's loaded. Calvin Alfonso, just like Will Taylor didn't really get a chance to pitch much, you get that. Griff Hebert won an opening day starting job, and it just didn't happen. They gave him a lot of chances. The leash was pretty long for Griff. He just didn't hit. He had a couple chances later in the year, and he came back and redeemed himself a little bit, but I don't think that's a stunner either. Cole Flanagan, left-hander, freshman, used out of the bullpen, wasn't used as much as Hayden Pearson. I think there was a spot for Flanagan moving forward, but again, I'm not stunned by it. Mandino, we already talked about. He's got the ability to be an everyday outfielder for somebody, and he's going to go chase that in his final year of eligibility. Tripp Dobson, bench bat. They still like the potential, but they already signed a first baseman in the junior college ranks right when the portal opened. So he might see the writing on the wall there, not stunned. Cason Bellard, another outfielder who got a chance to play a little bit, but never really established himself with a role, and the outfield is loaded. And then Owen Galt's the one who I think was going to have a chance to at least compete for the second base job next year and play somewhere on that infield. But, had chances as a freshman, had chances last year. I'm not stunned by his departure. That one might sting a little bit, though. Would have been nice to have him as infield depth for sure. So that's your portal entries for the Cajuns right now. I don't think any of them are dire. And as we said before, you're still waiting on a couple guys to confirm maybe that they want to run it back. I would be interested to see if Josh Lim makes an official announcement. Drew Markle, I don't think, has said anything publicly yet. Sounds like Donovan LaSalle is going to be back in the fold. There's a lot of reasons to be excited. So it should be fun. All right, we'll take a time out here. We'll see if we're able to get with Seth in the next segment. If not, no big deal. We'll just talk Saints without him. But that's what's coming up. It's the LohDown on a Thursday. Stay tuned.
This is the LohDown with D-Loh, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we got to go fast now.
The Houston Astros evened up their series with the Pittsburgh Pirates last night with an 11-9 win at Daikin Park. Former Tiger Paul Skeens went 4 2/3, giving up 3 runs on 7 hits with 7 strikeouts, while former Raging Cajun Spencer Arrighetti went 4 innings, giving up 6 hits and 4 runs by way of a grand slam. Game 3 of the series will be tonight, and it'll be Jared Jones on the mound for the Pirates versus Kaiwei Ting for the Astros. First pitch is at 7:10 p.m., and you can listen to it right here on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. The New York Knicks extended their postseason winning streak to 12 games with a 105-95 victory over the San Antonio Spurs in Game 1 of the NBA Finals last night. Jalen Brunson led the way for New York, finishing the night with 30 points, with 13 coming in the fourth quarter alone. Game 2 of the NBA Finals will be Friday night in San Antonio with tip-off at 7:30 p.m. The Texas Longhorns took Game 1 of the Women's College World Series Championship Series 7-3 last night over Texas Tech. Now Texas sits just 1 game away from repeating as champions and becoming the 3rd program since 2010 to win back-to-back titles in softball. Game 2 will be tonight, and it's set for 7 p.m. in Oklahoma City. Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals will get underway tonight from the Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. The Golden Knights lead the series 1-0, and puck drop is at 7 p.m. tonight. And in the PGA, the Memorial Tournament gets underway today from Muirfield Village Golf Club in Dublin, Ohio. I'm Blake Purser, and you're listening to ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Row coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
This is your Chiropractic Expert Minute, brought to you by Dr. Quentin Briscoe, chiropractic physician.
Hello, I'm Dr. Quentin Briscoe. You may have heard me for Chiropractic Awareness Month. Today I want to share a quick tip to keep your spine and your whole body healthy. Everyday habits like sitting too long, poor posture, or even sleeping the wrong way can cause misalignments that lead to pain, stiffness, or fatigue. Chiropractic care doesn't just treat pain, it helps your body function at its best naturally. A chiropractic adjustment can improve mobility, reduce tension, and even boost overall wellness. Combine that with proper stretching, posture awareness, and a healthy lifestyle, and you're giving your body the support it needs to thrive. We are in network with the VA Community Care Network, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Aetna.
To schedule an appointment with Briscoe Chiropractic, visit drqmb.com or call 337-534-0091. That's drqmb.com or 337-534-0091. Because your spine deserves expert care.
Hello, Acadiana. Cajun Carts is your #1 full-service dealer for new, used, and custom golf carts. Perfect for on the job site, the neighborhood, or even out on the green. We are the only authorized dealer of American-made E-Z-GO and Club Car here in Acadiana. For all your service, sales, and mechanical repairs, we got you. So don't wait. Roll on over to CajunCarts.com or stop by our Lafayette location by the Jockey Lot and see why we've been Louisiana's golf cart headquarters since 2003. Cajun Carts. Why walk when you can ride?
Your Honor, I would like to introduce exhibit number 1.
MeTV is America's #1 classic television network.
There can only be one #1, me.
MeTV features over 60 of the greatest classic TV series each week.
Go with the winner.
Enjoy dramas, comedies, westerns, sci-fi, and more.
You just watch me.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
We are the soldiers of the Louisiana Army National Guard. We are your neighbors. We are your sons and daughters. While we serve part-time, we are learning valuable life and job skills. We are earning money for college, for trade and technical schools, and for certifications. We are proud to serve both our country and our home state. We are your Louisiana Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Back to the sports talk you not only want, but need. This is ESPN, 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
All right, back here on the LohDown. We're not going to be able to get with Seth this week. We'll circle back with Seth this time a week from now, but there was some interesting stuff. I mean, we already kind of summed up some of the main points from day one of OTAs for the Saints. I think, mainly, the Kamara situation is going to continue to be the one that grabs the headlines. Is he going to be back? Is he going to be under a new contract? The other thing that's really interesting about yesterday, and we already alluded to part of this, is the wide receiver contract thing that's going on right now. So you already saw the Drake London stuff, and now Christian Watson and the Packers sign a 4-year, $110.5 million extension with a $31 million signing bonus. And then Nick Underhill chimes in and says, and gives some good data here, that Alec Pierce got $28.5 million per year, with 1,003 yards being his best season. Christian Watson had 611 yards in 10 games in his best season, and he got $27.5 million. And so you compare those numbers with Olave, this is going to be even more expensive for the Saints than maybe it looked like. Chris Olave's got 3 1,000-yard seasons, okay? And Olave most recently had 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns with 100 catches last year. So that's he's in a tier above Alec Pierce and Christian Watson, and those guys just got $27.5 and $28.5 million a year. So you go in and you can compare them and say, all right, well then let's look at the Drake London deal and let's see what Drake London is worth. London's numbers, again, not as good as Olave's. 4 seasons, he's only gone over 1,000 yards once, and that was in 2024. Last year was limited to 12 games due to injury. He was on pace to get to 1,000, if he would have been healthy for the whole season. But this is going to be a contract that I think might be staggering. And so, I do like having Chris Olave around, but look, you guys will remember this time last year, I was not on the Olave train. Now, there was an added caveat last time around because there was some serious health concerns, and he had, we were wondering if he was going to be able to play again because of the concussion stuff and the head injuries that he had suffered. So that was another reason to be kind of skeptical of it. And you know what? Shout out to Chris. He stayed healthy for the most part. He had a really good season. He did it with multiple quarterbacks. So, he proved that he's a really good receiver in this league. And I don't think there's ever been any doubt of that. It's just like I said before, man, the NFL's tough because, and it gets amplified the most at the quarterback position because the numbers are the biggest and the position gets most of the attention. And that's what I've said before. Like, the Saints were kind of in this spot with Derek Carr. Like, if you have a good to great quarterback who's in, like, somewhere in that category that they're good, they're above average, like, they've got a chance to be really, but they're not in the elite tier. No one's ever going to mistake them for a top 5 player in the league at their position. Like, they're never going to get to that point. The problem is you kind of still have to pay them like it's possible for them to get to that point, because that's just how contracts in the NFL work. That's why Kirk Cousins, has anyone ever thought Kirk Cousins was a top 5 quarterback in the NFL? Like, maybe there was one year where he sniffed it, but for the most part, no, right? You go, no, he's landed in his best year somewhere between 6 and 10 and maybe a little below that. Yet he's been paid like a top 5 quarterback whenever it's time for him to get a contract, because that's just what you have to do. And so my point is, you have to do that at all positions, to be honest with you. It's just we don't hear about it as much at the other spots because they're, less sexy and the numbers aren't as ridiculously high. So even though Chris Olave is not a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL, in my opinion, I don't think the Saints think he's now maybe, if you asked them, I'm sure they'd say he would, because that's their guy. But I don't think anybody's mistaking him for the Justin Jeffersons, Jamar Chases, CeeDee Lambs of the world. Yet he's going to get paid like he's one of those guys when this contract gets done, if it gets done, if the Saints are willing to give it to him. And if you're not willing to pay him like that, you go, well, what do you do? What's the alternative? I'll give you one, Kansas City. Tyreek Hill was in that category. For a while, they were cool with it, and then they said, you know what? We're just kind of sick of paying this guy to be, a top 2 receiver in the league, even though we know he's really awesome. We don't think he's worth that to us. So they traded him. That's business, right? That's the league. I don't know if the Saints are in as a position to do that, though, just because how tender and fragile, well, I shouldn't say, maybe fragile's not the word, but like you've gotten this Shuck thing right so far. You know what I mean? And it really does seem like he's got a nice pedigree. He's got some nice chemistry with Olave. That receiving core is kind of growing with Shuck. Mahomes and the Chiefs had kind of evolved past that stage of their development when this trade went down, right? Like, they had already won the Super Bowl. Mahomes had kind of established, hey, I'm one of those dudes in this league, and it doesn't not matter who you put around me, but I'll get the most out of whoever you do put around me, right? Same thing with where Tom Brady was at the peak of his career. Same thing where Drew Brees was at the peak of his powers when they were turning Willie Snead into a Pro Bowler, like, all due respect to Willie Snead, like Drew Brees made him a much better player than he probably actually was. So they're not at that stage yet with Shuck. So I don't know if you'd want to trade away a guy who feels like a security blanket and a reliable target for him. I'm just still scared to death about this guy's availability. And maybe I shouldn't be because he stayed healthy last year. But you throw that injury history on top of, what's been at times some questions about focus and things of that nature. And I'm not saying those things were very prevalent last season because it felt like they weren't, but I'm still just scared about the idea of paying this guy $30-something plus million a year when it, for a while there, looked like the future of his NFL career was in serious jeopardy. That's just how I feel about it. So we will see. That's why I also continuing to the point, it's why I think it's so important and so interesting what the rest of this group of pass catchers looks like this season. Do you get a really solid year from Devon Vele where, I don't think he's all of a sudden going to turn into like a wide receiver 1 for you, but does he put some thoughts into your mind like, man, this guy's special. This guy could be something really, really special. Do you have a Jordan Tyson in a rookie season where he jumps in and establishes himself right away as someone who could be the next guy? That'd be huge for this team. Not because it means they can get rid of Chris Olave and not worry about it, but because it just means they have more flexibility. Because as of now, if you play this season out and nobody really jumps off the page at you, nobody has some big season where they're at least like the potential is laid for them to be a really, really good player in this league, if none of that happens, you kind of have to give Olave what he wants. Like, you just don't have any other choice because you can't go into next season feeling like Tyler Shuck doesn't have anybody to throw the football to, So, the Oscar Delp thing plays into this as well. Like, I'd love to see him a little bit. We know rookie tight ends usually take some time to get going, especially if you're a fantasy football player. You know the history of that. Sam Laporta kind of broke that mold, but it's still got some long-ranging data that suggests it. I'm interested. So those are some of the things early on within these storylines that I have my eye on as far as the Saints are concerned. Other than that, though, it was the first day, and Tyler Shuck had a nice day from all the reports. Kamara was out there. I think it sounds like, you had an OTAs day. I don't know if anything massive is going to come from that. As we joked about yesterday, maybe time to start getting the bingo card ready because we're going to likely have some of those classic sayings that we get each and every year. But, with all that being said, we'll see if the next couple of days, the next couple of weeks of the Saints at least being back out on the field provide us any other storylines. By the way, shout out to our friends over at Small Sliders. Just wanted to fit this in. They dropped off some food for us for lunch today. I know James Smesh enjoyed. I did as well. They are the best. 2 locations, Lafayette area, one on Ambassador Caffrey, the other on Bertrand Drive. Whether it's lunch or dinner, it's convenient, it's quick, but it's quality. You don't sacrifice one for the other, which is what I love about them. And then in addition to that, as I said before, if you have a big event coming up, hosting some summer get-togethers, hanging around the pool, you don't want to have to worry about checking on the grill, checking on food back and forth. Pick up a catering tray. Small Sliders can do that for you. They can pack it up with however many sliders you need. They can do the fries as well. What I like about their fries, too, I noticed this today because they also brought some fries to the office. We all know there's certain places you order, maybe a big box from, and the fries are just not good 10 minutes later. You're like, man, those once they're not fresh anymore, you can just basically toss them out. It's not the case with Smalls. Because of it being a waffle fry, having a little substance to it, and the batter they do it actually lasts a long time. Stays really, really good for a while. So make sure to check out Small Sliders of Lafayette. Slide through. Tell them D-Loh sent you. Tell them you heard about it on the show. It means a lot. And make your day a small bit better. 2 locations in the area, as we mentioned. All right, we'll be back to wrap up the first hour. James and I will dive into this poll question a little bit after the break. Stay tuned.
This is the LohDown with D-Loh, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Today is the day. AFR's hitting the road. They're setting up shop at the Walk-Ons in Lake Charles. The Walk-Ons address is 5313 Common Street, 3 to 6 this afternoon. Food and drinks will be provided. The AFR team will be hanging out, Matt Moscona and company, so swing by and hang out with them at Walk-Ons in Lake Charles this afternoon.
ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is your home for the Houston Astros.
And the Astros stun the Mariners.
Hunter Brown, Yordan Alvarez, and the rest of the Astros are looking to get back to the postseason. You can listen to every pitch, hit, and thrilling victory of the Houston Astros.
Incredible!
As Robert Ford and Steve Sparks will be on the call. Tune in this season for live Astros baseball on Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Bryson Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee we'll eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Bryson Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Bryson Law Firm. LSBA filing number LA2518447.
You thinking trailers? Think Tibbs. Whether you tug it, tow it, or transport it, Tibbs Trailers is your headquarters for enclosed, flatbed, and hydraulic trailers. You won't find a better selection or a better price than right here. We've got the experts to repair or customize your trailer so it'll be ready for whatever you pull it through. Why would you go anywhere else when you can go to Tibbs Trailers? Now we're talking trailers.
Between Scott and Doosan.
Tax season doesn't have to be stressful. Not with Black & Gold Tax Service in your corner. Conveniently located on Main Street in Broussard, we offer in-office appointments and virtual consultations. You can upload your documents to our secured portal, and we offer secure digital drop-offs. Members of the Better Business Bureau, we proudly serve South Louisiana in all 50 states with integrity, expertise, and personalized care. Visit blackandgoldtax.com and let Black & Gold Tax Service make taxes easy. Black and Gold Tax Service, where accuracy meets Acadiana pride.
Whether it's a tempting text message or a quick glance at your GPS, taking your eyes off the road for just a moment can have serious consequences. This includes turning around or reaching down. Distracted driving includes eating or putting on makeup. Distracted driving is anything that diverts your attention from driving. I'm Lorraine Luquette Vinoy with Service Chevrolet Cadillac, encouraging you to drive smart, drive safe, and keep those eyes on the road, Acadiana. This message is powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac and this radio station, where safety meets style on the road.
You're listening to the 2026 LAB Award winner for Radio Young Professional of the Year, Dawson Iserloh, the host of the LohDown with D-Loh on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
All right, we're back here on the LohDown, the final segment here of the first hour. We got a little more time than usual because I wanted to dive into something. I want to get James's input on it as well. You might notice this. So, obviously, we do a poll question every day. We've been feeling like, you know what, there needs to be some refreshments sometimes, right? We need to have a little bit more thought-provoking questions. And we're getting to the summertime where there's not always going to be some big-time matchup for us to preview with our poll question, right? Or some really timely, popular topic in the world of sports. So, this is going to be a little bit of a theme this summer of things that we're going to try and talk a little bit more about. So, today, I think this is a fun one. If you had the choice to go pro in a sport, what would you choose? So, basketball, football, baseball, the three generic answer choices. Other is also an option here. Baseball's getting like 75% of the votes, but again, Twitter poll voting's been bugged for our account for a long time now. I'm not sure what's going on there. Anyway, James and the crew, apparently you guys were really interested. You guys had bets made against like what I was going to go with here. Like walk me through. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, it was really towards the end of the show.
Okay.
Ray thought you would go in one direction. I was like, I don't know. I think he goes in another direction. So it was really between myself and Raymond to figure out which sport you would go to, because it feels like it's between baseball and golf. Unless you would go in a different direction, maybe we were just both wrong altogether.
No, you're not too far off. So here's the thing, right? And I thought about this a good bit. My initial first thought was to say baseball because baseball was the sport that I was the best at in my life, right? Mm-hmm. I played baseball the longest. I played it, I would say, at the highest level of any other sport I played. Like
you enjoy the adult softball leagues.
Yeah, no, I still like I loved the sport. But I have thought about this before. I've thought about this for a long time. I never did, I did love travel baseball, and I would have played more if if it would have worked out. Like, I'd have played longer seasons. Mm-hmm. But I never did the year-round baseball thing. I still always had a break to play another sport. Like, I always had something else to go to. I would play, sometimes I'd play, in a winter or a fall ball league, but I would still play football. Like, I was still on the football team at my high school. I was still... And I would do, I would play golf in the summer sometimes. I didn't play golf as much, in my younger years. That more started towards college. But anyway, 162 games is such a grind. I don't know if I would... I've always thought about it. If I had to play professional baseball and I had to play 162 games in a year, would I lose some of my love for the game because of the grind that it is? I don't know the answer to that. I never got that way. I never once got to the end of a season and was like, oh, man, the season's still going on because I loved it. But that does give me pause, And, just the grind of how hard it is when you're facing elite pitching every day. So, golf was the next place I thought immediately, right? Because it's a sport where, first off, the wear and tear on your body's not as high. Although, golfers with back injuries later on in their careers, it can be a thing.
Once you get stiff, it becomes really hard to play at a high level.
Assuming you're doing the right things to take care of yourself, stretching out. And if you're a professional golfer, you're going to have, trainers and coaches and things like that. The schedule's awesome because guess what? If you don't feel like playing one weekend, then you just don't have to play. Now, you don't get paid, right? And so if you're not a top tier guy, and we've talked about this in the past, and Ralph has we've kind of brought it up, the guys who are just barely good enough to play pro, but aren't PGA Tour regulars, their life is a grind. I mean, it's a lot like the minor leagues in baseball. If you've never made it up to the bigs, you are grinding. But let's assume for the purpose of this, you're playing in the highest league, right? The PGA Tour.
Right.
Dude, you win once a year and you're set up. I mean, you're fine.
But even if you qualify, you're still getting a solid purse.
Yeah, if you make the cut in a weekend on the PGA Tour, you're getting paid north of $50,000 for a weekend, and usually well more than that, right? And so, yeah, top 10 in a major, you're bringing home probably $1 million plus. So that's awesome. Now, it is, again, it's a grind, but like the idea of going around, playing the best courses in the world, competing at all these levels, yeah, golf's awesome. But the one that I couldn't just forget here. Now, go ahead.
I was going to say, could I guess it?
Yeah, what's that?
NASCAR?
No, that's a good point, though. That is a good point. NASCAR I'd be in on, but I've never done it. Like I didn't do any of the short track stuff when I was a kid. I didn't have I had a friend who actually like had a go-kart, like a competitive go-kart, the ones that go like crazy and would compete, would like bring it around the local tracks and stuff. And I considered like maybe trying to get into that for a little bit, but like I didn't have the mechanical background. Considered that one for sure, but ultimately, like being a quarterback in football is the other one. Like that's the other place here. And so, like I wasn't a quarterback in high school. I was a quarterback playing intramurals. Shout out flag football, cause slinging around a little bit. But like I wouldn't do football if it were to be an offensive lineman or like a pass rusher or like a full. I played fullback a lot.
A dying breed.
Yeah,
dying breed.
The last of my kind, perhaps, but. Like, and let's convert it, say tight end. Maybe if I was 5 inches taller and could play tight end, I don't think I'd want to do that as far as the NFL rank because again, like the wear and tear of your body and all that stuff. But if I was able to play quarterback, I think the NFL stuff, that'd be awesome. So that's where I went. So I'm guessing you voted baseball?
I voted baseball. Ray went golf.
Yeah. I mean, the baseball, it's those are the top three for me. So that's neither one of you's out of the realm of possibility. So your answer was I would assume basketball. I don't know if that's for sure.
I think the correct answer for myself should be basketball because I think I'm a better basketball player than football player.
But obviously in this scenario, that's not mattering. So what? You receiver? Is
yeah,
that what it was?
I'd be an NFL wide receiver.
Wide receiver.
Devontae Smith is my inspiration to this point.
Yeah, you got a lot in common with him. What about like Lad McConkey? Be him.
Yeah. Lad McConkey, Lord.
Devontae's got a little more quickness, I think, than you do, you know?
Well, if I started training again, I feel like I'd get my twitch back.
Yeah? Is that a thing that just comes and goes, like riding a bike?
Start working out again, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting thought, though, because there are a few. You know what else would be kind of sick, low-key? Bowling.
Just, you know what? Drop a sick 270.
Because that's the thing. You can walk around and no one would ever know. Now, I guess golf's kind of the same way, but you could just walk in and be like, oh, this guy, by the way, this is the nastiest bowler on the face of the planet. And everybody be like, so who is he?
You'd have to pay attention to national bowling.
Right. So you could just kind of
and if you went to a bowling alley, maybe a couple people would have like some murmurs and be like,
well, if they saw you bowl, I think if they saw you bowl and you were one of the best bowlers in the world, I think they'd know pretty quick.
But you're also probably bringing your like specialty made ball and not using.
Yeah, but there's a lot of bowlers that bring a specialty made ball that aren't good.
Yeah,
you ever been to a bowling alley on the night of a league bowling tournament? It's a serious thing.
Well, Five Names brought her own bowling ball because remember she was in a bowling league.
Dude, I've considered getting back into it. Well, I say getting back into it. The only time I was ever into bowling was I took a bowling class at UL because I needed a credit. It was like a whole thing. It was a whole thing where like my major, we're going way too far down this path.
Yeah, we have time.
Yeah, we got a couple minutes here. Basically, like my major had a class that wasn't available yet that semester. And I had a full schedule, but I was 1 hour credit hour short of a full schedule, right? But there was nothing else I could take that was going to advance me towards my major. So my advisor was like, you got to just take something. Like, it doesn't matter, like, literally anything to just get yourself one more credit hour so your scholarship works. And then, like, I was going to graduate the next semester. So I took bowling, and it was awesome. All you do is show up at Lafayette Lanes, RIP, at the time, and you bowled 2 games a day. And you had to take, like, 2 quizzes and a test at the end of the semester about the rules of bowling, which, I kind of already knew. It was pretty easy. And so I was getting pretty good, because I was playing every day.
Yeah, you were doing it 2 times a day?
Or 2 times a week.
2 games.
2 games a day, twice a week. So I was bowling 4 to 5 times a week, whatever.
Okay.
And so I thought about it, and then I just kind of let it go. And to be honest, I probably bowled twice in the last, 5 years. But there was a stretch there where I was sitting in the 170s, 180s, getting close to 200 pretty regularly. I was like, hey, maybe this is maybe this is going to be a thing for me.
I think I've hit 100 like 3 times.
100?
Yeah. I'm not very good at bowling.
I was going to say 100, not a lot, not a lot going on there. You got to just pick up a couple spares, you get to 100.
And I'm usually good for 1 strike a game and like 1 or 2 spares, and that's it.
It's fair enough. Yeah. So anyway, that's my that's the story of my bowling career. It's gone but not forgotten. But anyway, yeah, I think it's hard to mess with the idea of being a golfer, man. The idea of playing in those tournaments, you still have like a true off season, like in the fall and the winter where you don't have to grind it out. I think that might be the direction, but I don't know. It's interesting. Interesting thought process. All right. We've got hour number 2 still to come. We have 2 guests lined up in it. We'll start off with Micah Butel right at the top. We'll do college baseball with him as we've been doing all season long. Micah's got a hell of a road trip planned for this weekend. We're going to talk to him about his road trip. We'll see where he's headed, which games he's fired up about. We'll also get kind of his thoughts on what was an incredible regional weekend and like the Supers as a whole, the excitement of Omaha being just a week away, all that stuff with Mike at the top. And then Coach Theo Slyman, a little bit of a different interview. The Raging Cajun golf team had an interesting season. Milan Pocketer led the way. He just competed at the NCAA championships. So we'll catch up with Coach Slyman at the bottom of the hour. There is a golf tournament, by the way, going on over at Muirfield Village. It's pretty big one as well. It's Jack's tournament, the Memorial, which is being led by Wyndham Clark at the moment. Ricky Fowler shot one shot shy of 80, which is not good in golf terms. So not good day for him, but a good day for Wyndham Clark. And Tommy Fleetwood was hanging up at the top of the board for a little bit as well. We'll get you an update to that at some point in the second hour. For now, though, we'll take a timeout. Back with our friend Micah Butel in just a bit. This is the LohDown, ESPN 103.7 in Lafayette, 104.1 in Lake Charles. Remember, we are live on the ESPN Southwest Louisiana mobile app and on YouTube.
Looking for a spotless workplace? Variety Janitorial Services is your go-to. For office cleaning to stripping and floor waxing and carpet cleaning, your commercial space will look its best. Their reputation for perfection has grown throughout the entire Acadiana community. They deliver top-notch service with a commitment to excellence. Daily, weekly, or deep cleaning, trust the experts. Visit varietyjan.com today or call 337-298-8704 for a free quote. Variety Janitorial Services. We clean, you shine.
Oh, look who's here.
Everybody Loves Raymond is on MeTV.
Who told you that?
Raymond!
America's #1 classic TV network.
Nothing even comes close.
Enjoy 2 back-to-back episodes every weeknight.
We're doing it twice.
Watch Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, it's all about you, Raymond.
Weeknights starting at 8 on MeTV.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices.
To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks every day. To learn more, visit fda.gov/OTC pain info. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 103.7 KLWB Karen Crow Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 104.1, a Delta Media station.
I'm Sean Ryder. The Knicks' incredible postseason run continues. They have now won 12 straight games this postseason after rallying to win Game 1 of the NBA Finals 105-95 over the Spurs last night in San Antonio. New York finishing the game on an 11-0 run, and Jalen Brunson clutch again, scoring 13 of his game-high 30 in the fourth quarter. Brunson on the comeback.
I don't want to say calmness, but I think we know what we have to do. I think we're a pretty together group. Be able to trust each other and still just continue to fight at each other's back, and just know that we got to keep chipping away. It's just a credit to the mentality we have as a team. But, I mean, we can't just be satisfied with that. We have a long way to go. We have a lot of things we can do to be better, but I'm happy we came with the win.
And Game 2 of the NBA Finals tomorrow night in San Antonio on ESPN Radio, the app, and ABC TV with coverage starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. NFL and the Packers have signed receiver Christian Watson to a 4-year, $110.5 million extension with $31 million guaranteed, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter. Day baseball in the Bronx, the Yankees and Guardians tied at 1 in the 6th inning.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Friday, Wemby and the Spurs threw away Game 1 at home against the Knicks. I'll tell you if what I saw from them concerns me going into Game 2. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Dawson Iserloh prides himself on taking a deep dive to uncover all the relevant data about the sports and sports teams he loves. And now he's sharing all those facts inside his big brain with all of you. Here is the LohDown with D-Loh on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
It is the LohDown, ESPN 103.7 in Lafayette, 104.1 in Lake Charles. We are anywhere you are with the ESPN Southwest Louisiana mobile app. And now, as we mentioned, coming at you live from the ESPN_SWLA YouTube channel each and every day here inside the Beal and Hebert studios in Upper Lafayette. A lot to get to here in the second hour. We're going to talk Raging Cajun golf with our friend and the coach of the Cajuns, Theo Slyman, in just about a half hour. But we're going to start off our second hour as we do every Thursday with our friend Micah Butel, College Baseball Central. Micah, Super Regionals ahead, Regionals behind us, man. I'm going to get into what your travel schedule looks like, but good to have you back on as well.
Always a pleasure, Dawson. It's the best, worst time of the year because it's the most fun, but it also means it's almost done. So kind of it's one of those 50-50 kind of feelings.
No doubt, no doubt. Let's look back at the regionals, man. And I know, obviously early on especially, and look, I texted you when Lamar was taking a commanding lead. I was fired up about the chances of them pulling the upset on the Aggies. But then as the weekend gone on, I'm sure you got to watch a little bit more. Just your thoughts on what was a wild regional weekend.
Yeah, I mean, this is what makes college baseball so special. I mean, in my opinion, obviously you get upsets all the time and, March Madness and things like that. But you don't see some of the storylines you see like you do in baseball with Milwaukee jumping out 2-0. Again, we'll get to Super Regionals, but we're going to have a Little Rock or Troy team in Omaha. You get some incredible storylines. And again, this is a sport that's been kind of untapped. I mean, it's had some big moments, but everyone always thinks of it as a Southeastern sport. And obviously it's definitely dominated out there, but you see the potential resurgence of USC. You have Cal Poly 2 wins away from Omaha. There's so much beauty in the sport, and it was great to see. And you had fun upsets. You had dominating performances. There were some teams that just took care of business the way they're supposed to. You saw, the way Oklahoma battled back to take down Georgia Tech was something that I think more people should probably talk about. I guess it was an incredible 4 days of baseball, and we're going to get another great 4 days hopefully this weekend as well.
More stunning for you that Georgia Tech went down after being in the driver's seat, or that UCLA just never got their footing in Los Angeles?
So I am so glad. Shout out to my friends, the Walk It Off podcast, an LSU podcast. We did a preview before the tournament started, and I said that I did not think I felt more confident in West Virginia going to Omaha than UCLA. Obviously, West Virginia not guaranteed to get there, but they're obviously still alive for it, where UCLA is not. I have been on the record to say that this UCLA team is the most talented team in the country, but also not battle tested at all. And I knew that how the postseason works is the lights get brighter. There's not even when you're in the conference tournament, there's no fear of losing because you're going to be able to play tomorrow. That feeling of not knowing about a tomorrow affects how teams play. And it got to UCLA. Again, they had a very difficult, a more difficult regional than people I think realize, because St. Mary's is a good ball club. And obviously Virginia Tech, no slouch either. But, it was – I'm not as surprised by that. And also just the way Georgia Tech – Georgia Tech had the Sunday game in hand too. And I thought that was going to be a run rule. I mean, obviously there's no run rule, but like it was going to be a 10-plus run win on that Sunday from Georgia Tech, especially considering Oklahoma had issues with pitching depth all season. And, of course, they found a way in both games to battle back and win. So definitely more surprised by Oklahoma's ability to battle back and take that from Georgia Tech.
When you look around, we're going to have what I think is awesome, too, 2 guaranteed new teams in Omaha. Because you've got the Troy Regional, the Troy Super hosting Little Rock, and then you just talked about Cal Poly with West Virginia. So you got those 4 teams that all match up against each other. And then there's some of these just like Goliath battles where Georgia's facing Mississippi State and Texas gets Oregon. I saw, again, there's always conversation. Look, every year the teams who don't have it go their way, or maybe there's just some thoughts like, hey, reseeding and this and that. I just think we've got such a great format, man. And I saw what the coach at Auburn said after the regional. I thought he was completely off base personally, but like I just think, I really hope we don't mess with this at all.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been a little bit more open to Coach Thompson's at Auburn's message if the excuse wasn't we lost game 1 to Milwaukee with one of our better arms. Like,
yeah,
I'm sorry to tell you this, but like, you had to battle back through the losers bracket because you lost game 1 to an under 500 team. Like, I'm not going to feel sorry for that. Like, again, kudos to them for finding a way to do it, but that is not justification to change the system.
And well,
like, USC had to do the same thing in College Station. You didn't hear a pipe out of them with that. So,
like, the reason I'm also not sympathetic to him at all is because he tried to use this player health and safety crutch, but it's like you chose to bring back your best pitchers because you didn't trust anybody else. There were, I think, 9 or 10 arms in that bullpen that never saw the mound in the weekend. So, like, sorry, man, if you only trust 3 pitchers, well, then that's also your fault.
100% agree. Like, that's the other piece of it. And again, like, I mean, I'm not even trying to be a jerk, but like, your regional is not that tough. And like, if there's a team you want to play in a regional final, it is a Milwaukee team who is under 500, who in all reality, I mean, you talk to their coaches. I got the chance to talk to one of them after it was all said and done. Like, when they were up 2-0, they didn't, I mean, obviously they believed their guys could do it, but they literally had nobody left that had meaningful innings. They were going to be trotting out the same type. Like, they were more screwed over by the system in a way than Auburn was, considering depth pieces and things of that nature. So, yeah, I mean, again, I think you nailed it, Dawson. Like, the good of the sport, like, we're going to have such a fun Omaha because you're going to have, well, again, someone's going to win their first game in Omaha, whether it's Cal Poly, West Virginia, Troy, or Little Rock. And then the bottom half, right, you're going to have, I mean, I don't know if you can say blue bloods, but definitely premier programs with USC, North Carolina, Ole Miss, Auburn. One of those teams is going to be 1-0. And then you're going to have a fun 1-0 and 0-1 matchup, like sitting there on the next day, or I guess 2 days afterwards. And then it's the same way on the other side. Like, I can't say this is the perfect bracket, but it feels about as close as perfect can be, considering, again, like, you've got some fun stories. Like, the idea of Oklahoma or Kansas in Omaha. Like, I know Oklahoma played the national title a few years ago, but like, that's just, again, the Big 12 renewal, I guess you could say. And Oregon, Texas, like, that's just fun. Like, I mean, there's a world where we get Texas USC in a Blue Blood national championship, and there's a world where we get St. John's versus Little Rock in the mid-major Cinderella story of the century. So, it just sets up so well. You're going to have major fan bases, and you're going to have, the community of Omaha is going to have underdogs to root for. I am so excited for what we've got coming up for us over the next 10, 15 days that remain of the college baseball season.
I am with you. Micah Butel is our guest, College Baseball Central. He joins us every Thursday here, at least through the end of the season, of course. All right, man, so I saw your schedule, but I can't believe I didn't ask you this more because we've done all these like crazy things about your road trips throughout the season. I got to get more of your road trip hacks, man. Like, what's a go-to snack? Like, what's the vibe? How do you get through these things? I think Best Western needs to call you about sponsorship. I don't know if they've already been on the phone or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I got a little bit lucky. If you've ever seen the show Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, I lived that life. I lived at a Best Western. I had basically a 1-bedroom apartment during COVID when I moved out to Nebraska to work for a hockey team. So I lived in a Best Western for 2 years. So I'm a diamond, platinum, whatever their premium, fancy,
there you go.
Guy who gets discounts when he stays at Best Westerns. And I've always joked that Best Westerns are the best hotel because they're nothing to write home about, but they're always reliably decent. Like, I've never had a bad night at a Best Western. You're not getting any bells and whistles, but I sleep for 6 hours and I'm on the road again. So I don't need bells and whistles. I need affordability and a clean bed and a nice shower. So that obviously helps, for me. I've started to meal prep because I realized, Dawson, I was getting a little chunky eating ballpark food and also never, eating fast food on the road. So we've started to kind of meal prep and then use the shout out to Love's or Pilot for letting me use the microwaves as long as I buy a fountain drink or something. But we try to just kind of go around with it. I chug a bunch of water just to kind of make myself have to stop because if not, I won't. So it's kind of, I guess, really the hacks of it all. And then again, I'm just fortunate that when it comes to road trips, I could be in the middle of nowhere and I find the beauty in the small things. So I never get bored because I feel like I'm always, even if I've been on that road before, I'm seeing something new, whether it's a different car that goes by or, whatever it might be. Shout out to all the podcasts out there too that kind of keep me going. But, it's definitely a lot of fun to kind of just hit the road. And it's also just, I don't know, there's something freeing about it for me, which I'm thankful I feel that way because if not, this would be a much tougher way to go about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you clearly have the mindset to make it work, which is probably a big portion of the battle. All right, so this weekend, you'll be at Little Rock, Troy on Friday, Auburn and Ole Miss on Saturday, Alabama, St. John's on Monday, and then the if necessary games, or Sunday, I should say, and then the if necessary games on Mondays. So the state of Alabama, which obviously it's crazy, they're hosting 3 different supers. What has you excited about each one of these matchups?
Yeah, I mean, I'm devastated as someone whose first ever college baseball game was in Morgantown, West Virginia hosting their first super regional. But when the committee decided to put them at the noon slot on Eastern time on Friday, it officially cooked any hope of that. That is easily the furthest regional from me currently in Southeast Texas. So had to give up the dream of that and just hope that I see those boys in Omaha. But, for me, again, the idea of Dawson, I'm so giddy. I'm driving to Troy tonight. I'm so giddy for the idea of seeing how Troy's piecing this together. And I've also, this is not to toot my own horn too much, but no other national media member in college baseball made an appearance to Little Rock this year besides me. So I obviously know that Little Rock staff well. I don't think I predicted this per se, but I knew that I believed in them to win the OVC even when they were the 4 seed in the tournament. So I've always been bought in on this Little Rock program, which Coach Curry's got going on there. So obviously really excited to see both those programs who invest a lot into baseball at the mid-major level get, rewarded for that investment. Again, as you know, Sunbelt guy, Troy is always investing in baseball. They obviously are the secondary site for the Sun Belt tournament for baseball. So this as a baseball community, so I'm glad they're getting rewarded. Auburn, I've said it a million times on the social media pages, I think it's the best fan experience in the sport, just the value they provide their fans. $1.25 hot dogs, $2.50 beer for super regionals is insane. I don't know how they make money on that, but kudos to them. So that's going to be an awesome environment and the investment they've put into their program and their fan experience. And then Alabama, another underrated fan base for me, and obviously the story that is St. John's being on the other side makes it a lot more fun. So I'm really excited. And Dawson, I didn't make it public because I just don't know, but I am approved for a credential in Lawrence, Kansas. If there is a Monday game and if necessary game between OU and Kansas, I will be cranking the hog, as they say, on Monday night. So that is I am rooting for both teams to have fun on one day, and then that way there'll be a game 3, and then whoever wins is fine by me. But I'm hoping I'll be in because it's on my way to Omaha anyway. So it'll just be a long drive on Sunday night instead of a long drive Monday and Tuesday to get to Omaha.
There you go. Yeah, I was going to say, they ask who you're rooting for. You go, whoever loses game 1, rooting for them hard on game 2. But ask me after Saturday night. Well, man, it's been fun talking to you. Obviously, we've got a couple more of these to do. You'll be, I guess you'll be in Omaha this time next week, right?
I will be. Next time I join you, I'll probably be sitting somewhere inside the Schwab, or, in the Chuck, as we call it, on media day, so practice day. So that'll be awesome.
All right, man. Safe travels. Enjoy it.
Will, appreciate you, Dawson.
That's our friend Micah Butel, College Baseball Central, living the life, man, traveling all around, finding the nicest, best Western that he can get to, and then watching some college baseball night in, night out. All right, we'll take a time out. We've got more to come after the break. We'll give you an update. I said we were going to go over to Muirfield Village and take a look at the PGA Tour leaderboard. Let's do that because it's a bit of a golf-centric rest of the hour with Coach Slyman coming on at the bottom. So we'll take a look at what's going on at another PGA Tour signature event, and we'll reset some things for you after the break. It's the Lowdown.
This is the Lowdown with D-Loh, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Here at ESPN Southwest Louisiana Sports Station, we know you can't get enough sports in your life, so go ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel, ESPN_SWLA. Turn the bell on so you get notified whenever we post new content like our podcasts, original shorts, Foots Friday Fury, and now, of course, the newest and greatest addition to our channel, the streaming of all of our local shows. That is right. If you haven't heard, we are now streaming on YouTube every single day, every weekday, that is. 7 a.m., the Jordy Holtberg Show gets you going. 9 a.m., we turn it over to Footnotes. 11 a.m., it's RP3 and Mesh. 1 o'clock, I take over. So from 7 to 3, the ESPN SWLA YouTube channel is rolling with live shows. It is free to watch, as always. And it's another way. We do have a video component. I know some people probably didn't even realize that. You can watch us hang out here in the studios in addition to listening to the show there. It's another way. Look, if you get out the car, I've had these people say, oh, man, I catch your show for about 30 minutes while I'm in the car. Then I get out and I kind of miss the back half. Well, you can throw it up on the phone, throw it up on the laptop, wherever you need. We're trying to make it as accessible as possible. That's the ESPN_SWLA channel on YouTube.
Hello, everyone. This is Jeff Palermo. Join us on Tuesday nights for Tiger Rag Radio. Myself, Todd Horn, and Glenn Gilbo give you the latest happenings in Tiger Town and across the SEC. We talk to coaches, analysts, and those in the know when it comes to the Tigers and the Southeastern Conference. We cover all the sports: football, baseball, basketball, softball, and gymnastics. That's Tuesday nights right here on ESPN 103.7 in Lafayette and 104.1 in Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
BB's Auto Sales has been serving Acadiana since 1966. Cleanest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Need financing? No problem. BB's offers easy financing for all credit types, including in-house financing. Plus, they're paying top dollar for your trade. Voted top 3 dealership in Community Choice Awards 2 years in a row. Visit BB's Auto Sales, 2 convenient locations off Johnston Street and in Abbeville. BBAutosales.com. Cleanest cars in Acadiana.
Ready to transform your backyard into the summer paradise you've always dreamed of? With Duplessis Builders custom gunite pool packages, we make it simple to own a stunning, long-lasting, in-ground pool built just for you. Choose from classic designs, all customizable to fit your space, style, and budget. Our pools come with quality finishes, energy-efficient equipment, beautiful lighting, and professional installation from excavation to decking, so you can dive in before the next heat wave hits. Don't just dream it, build it. Visit DuplessisBuilders.net.
When strength matters, go to ap-fabrication.com. Built with precision, heavy-duty structural aluminum welding using TIG, MIG, and stick to custom metal fabrication designed exactly for your project. Need safety inspections, weld analysis, or 24-hour emergency metal repairs to keep your operation moving? Trust A&P. For quality craftsmanship, visit ap-fabrication.com. That's ap-fabrication.com. You can trust A&P Fabrication and Construction. Built strong, built right.
Every weeknight, MeTV has your laugh therapy.
To chase away the blues or the olive drabs.
With 2 hours of MASH at 5.
This guy's ankle has tickled my funny bone.
Followed by the Andy Griffith Show at 7.
Doggone it, Otis. You're supposed to be hugging me when I'm arresting you. But he likes you, Bart.
Weeknights on MeTV.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on Channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices.
To learn more, visit GoVote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's Office.
You know the routine. Eat, sleep, sports talk, repeat.
Well, up and at 'em. We're here.
Here is more daily sports talk from ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles.
All right, the LohDown rolls on a Thursday. Appreciate Micah, as always, talking college baseball there in the last segment. I mentioned the PGA Tour is having one of its signature events, so I am not the biggest fan of signature events just in the way that they've structured them. This one's a little better. There is a cut line. The Memorial Tournament, it's Jack's tournament. 50 years of it they're celebrating, by the way. And it is a cool event. Muirfield Village is a really, really cool golf course in Dublin, Ohio. And early on, we've seen this course really bite some and give up some birdies to others. It's been interesting to watch, like, the scoring distribution. I told you my guy Ricky is he's tied for 69th out of 72 players. That is not very good. Saad Thegala is also struggling. He's tied for 62nd. Matt Fitzpatrick is tied for 50th. Gary Woodland right there with him. Justin Thomas in the same spot. He's finished the day 2 over par. But then towards the top, you do have some of the big names. Scotty Scheffler is playing. He just got going. He's 2 under through 7 holes of play today. Tied for 11th right now. Ludwig Oberg is 3 under through 8 holes. He is tied for 6th. Justin Rose, Sam Burns, the former LSU Tiger there. Both of them have posted 3 under scores of 69, and they are in the clubhouse at tied for 6th. And then our leaders, Ryan Gerard, former UNC Tar Heel. He had an interesting front 9 in which he made, how about this, 2 bogeys, a double, an eagle, and 2 birdies to shoot even par on the front. And then he's just gone ahead and gone nuclear on the back. He's 6 under in 7 holes on the back 9, including making a par at the par 5 that you would have thought he had been able to get after. So Ryan Gerard's having an unbelievable back 9. He is the solo leader at 6 under. Wyndham Clark, J.J. Spawn, Tommy Fleetwood are all in the clubhouse with 5 under 67s. They all occupy a tie for second place. Nick Taylor is alone in 5th right now with a 4 under round of 68. He also had a double bogey today. Muirfield Village, what I like about it is it's one of those courses that will give some birdies away, certainly, but like you can make double out there in a hurry. There's a lot of water on the course. No player experienced that more than my guy Rick, Ricky Fowler had 2 double bogeys on holes 2 and 3, then a bogey on 4. So he was sitting at 5 over par through 3 holes. He makes eagle on the 5th, then double on the 6th, then birdie on the 7th, then bogey on the 8th. And shot 5 over 41 on the front 9. I mean, just a ridiculous round of golf. So crazy stuff going on over there at Muirfield Village. We'll see how the leaderboard shapes up the rest of the day. The other thing that is kind of happening in the world of sports right now, as we mentioned, the Women's College World Series got going on yesterday. I didn't catch all of this game, but I caught some of it. Texas went up 5-1 in the very first inning. Interesting that Tech didn't start Nigeri Kennedy. Jerry Glasgow doing a little strategy here. They went with Terry, and look, Terry's got a 1.97 ERA, and she's 24-3 this season, so it's not like they didn't have a good second option. But Terry gave up 4 hits and 4 earned runs in an inning and a third. It was not working for her. They go to Kennedy. Kennedy gives up a run in an inning and a third. Then they go to Lincoln, and ultimately Texas jumps out, as I said, and just kind of puts it in cruise control after that, and is able to ultimately pull away. Texas Tech got 2 in the 5th to make it 6-3 and at least go, hey, here they come. But then another insurance run for the Longhorns, and they were awesome in the circle. They get the complete game effort from Cavan, who's now got a 29-6 record this season, and they are 1 win away from a second consecutive Women's College World Series title. So Jerry Glasgow and company backs against the wall. I imagine we will see Nigeri Kennedy start tonight. Don't know that for sure, but I'd be very surprised if it wasn't her. Texas, we'll see if they go back to Cavan, although they'll probably use a different arm and then try and piece it together. It is a 7 o'clock first pitch in game number 2. Remember, game 3 would be Friday night at the same time, another 7 o'clock start if they get there. But as of now, Texas is looking to make sure that they don't ever get there. Another thing that I at least want to make note of here, that we got to get started talking about it a little bit, is the FIFA World Cup. We are not a soccer-based show. We're not a soccer-based station, to be honest with you. But I have long said, much like the World Baseball Classic, now that's a sport that I love at all times, in addition to international play. But if there's one time where I get really rolling for soccer, it's the World Cup. It's been that way since I was a kid. I don't know why. I've tried to get into the Premier League. I've tried to watch some MLS stuff. I've tried to follow along because I had some friends that were really, really big soccer fans. And I've tried to do it. Can't do it. But yet, World Cup comes on, I'm glued to the TV for a month straight. So I am going to talk World Cup. We're working on getting some guests. I'd love to have some people on the show that actually know what they're talking about when it comes to this sport. I know the gist of it. Like, I can obviously explain what's going on, but like if you're talking strategy, you're talking like how a game was won and lost, you're going to start losing me there. I'm not that much of an expert on the sport, so we'll be doing that. Team USA's in it, so that's awesome. Obviously, they're hosting it as well. Prices apparently were out of sight, and now they're coming back down a little bit, so that'd be nice if they keep coming down. Maybe find a way to get over to Houston and see a game or something like that. But Thursday, we're a week away. We're 1 week away. We get Mexico and South Africa to open up the group stages. Remember, all the North American countries are sharing the hosting duties, so that game's going to be played, I believe, in Mexico. Then you get South Korea and Czechia that night with a 9 o'clock start, and from there, we're off. The U.S. plays next Friday night. Paraguay in the opening round. So that's going to be huge. Where are they playing that game for Team USA? SoFi. Okay, they're playing in L.A., in SoFi. So that's why we get a little bit of a later start time. It'll be an 8 o'clock. So you go first pitch, you go tip-off. First kickoff? I don't know what you call the opening thing of a soccer. That's a blind spot for me. I think I know most of the soccer terminology. I think our research team, a.k.a. James Mesh, is getting on this. Yeah, what do we call that? We have something here, James, or is it unclear? All right, we'll get back on that. We'll get back on the research, and we'll figure out what they call the opening of a soccer match. All right, before that, we'll take a time. Or you got it for me now?
It's just kickoff time.
Just kickoff time. Okay, that's why that made sense to me, but I was like, is there something I'm missing?
Because to start off the game, the ball is right in the middle, and whoever's starting just kicks it to their teammate.
I just felt like they might have something that was their own. Like maybe, I don't know, you can argue they've been around longer, so maybe American football stole the kickoff mantra. I just didn't know if there was something else, but that makes sense. All right, sometimes don't overthink it, Drop of the puck, tip off, first pitch, kickoff, simple things in life. All right, we'll take a timeout. Theo Slyman joins us. We'll talk UL golf, Milan Pock-Eater, what a season he had, and we'll catch up with Coach after the break.
This is the LohDown with D-Loh, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The Houston Astros evened up their series with the Pittsburgh Pirates last night with an 11-9 win at Daikin Park. Former Tiger Paul Skeens went 4 2/3, giving up 3 runs on 7 hits with 7 strikeouts, while former Raging Cajun Spencer Arrighetti went 4 innings, giving up 6 hits and 4 runs by way of a grand slam. Game 3 of the series will be tonight, and it'll be Jared Jones on the mound for the Pirates versus Kaiwei Ting for the Astros. First pitch is at 7:10 p.m., and you can listen to it right here on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. The New York Knicks extended their postseason winning streak to 12 games with a 105-95 victory over the San Antonio Spurs in Game 1 of the NBA Finals last night. Jalen Brunson led the way for New York, finishing the night with 30 points, with 13 coming in the fourth quarter alone. Game 2 of the NBA Finals will be Friday night in San Antonio with tip-off at 7:30 p.m. The Texas Longhorns took Game 1 of the Women's College World Series Championship Series 7-3 last night over Texas Tech. Now Texas sits just 1 game away from repeating as champions and becoming the 3rd program since 2010 to win back-to-back titles in softball. Game 2 will be tonight, and it's set for 7 p.m. in Oklahoma City. Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals will get underway tonight from the Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. The Golden Knights lead the series 1-0, and puck drop is at 7 p.m. tonight. And in the PGA, the Memorial Tournament gets underway today from Muirfield Village Golf Club in Dublin, Ohio. I'm Blake Purser, and you're listening to ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Row coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
Since 1958, Alamo Glass has been serving Acadiana's glass needs. Alamo Glass does outstanding work on residential windows, custom shower doors, mirrors, custom framing, commercial storefronts, and door repairs. Alamo Glass also carries plexiglass and Lexan. Need a windshield or rock chip repair? Alamo Glass offers free mobile service as well as free estimates on any of your glass projects. Call Alamo Glass, 1220 Bertrand Drive, or call 233-8811. Need glass? Call Alamo Glass.
MeTV is America's #1 classic entertainment television network. And here's one of the reasons everybody loves MeTV.
Oh, it's a classic.
The great comedy lineup on weeknights.
This will be fun. Come on.
With MASH.
Loaded with snappy comebacks.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I was just funning with Barney.
And Everybody Loves Raymond.
Now we got a show.
Watch Meet TV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on Channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices.
To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help.
800-368-5184. 800-368-5184. 800-368-5184. 800-368-5184.
Do yourself a favor and download the free ESPN Southwest Louisiana mobile app, powered by Moss Motors BMW for your Android or Apple devices. Download the app by searching ESPN 1037 Lafayette or ESPN 1041 Lake Charles. It's just that easy to take Southwest Louisiana's sports station with you wherever you go.
We welcome you back here to the LohDown. Our final guest of the day is the head coach for the Raging Cajun golf program. Theo Slyman joins us. An exciting time for the Cajuns. Milan Paqueter having just competed in the NCAA championships, and I understand Coach is still around the state competing and helping his son and everything else that goes with the golf off-season, quote-unquote. So, Coach, what's going on?
Hey there. Well, first off, thanks so much for taking time and having us on. And yes, you are correct. It's not slowing down, but it's a good thing. I'm actually here in New Orleans. We have a couple of our current players and a couple of incoming players competing in the state amateur here at Metairie Country Club. So I joined them and got on the bag caddying, and then I'm going to leave actually Sunday and head up to Auburn, Alabama, to work a camp there. And should be a fun time because Auburn just won their second national championship. So I'm sure Coach Nick and all the Auburn boys are going to be on top of the moon.
No doubt. That is some cool stuff. All right, Coach, let's go back to the beginning. I know that, you talked a little bit about the start of this season. You knew you were going to have a really young team, and Milan Paqueter had opportunities to go probably a lot of different places and play his last year college golf. and he chose to stay. What did that mean to you, and what did it mean for the young guys on this team that knew that he was going to stick around for them?
Yeah, it obviously, in this day and age, it's something that you really dread. And fortunately, we have not had any guys transfer out to quote unquote, better or transfer up. And, Milan's a special young man, and he was asked that question by a lot of interviews, and his answer was pretty simple. He says, I'm a man of my word, and I like being an underdog. And he says, I couldn't look Coach Slyman in the eyes, the man that I fell in love with and the program I fell in love with, and leave. Like there's zero entertainment of that in his, and it's because of his upbringing. He grew up on a farm, blue collar, hard worker, and that comes from day one in his upbringing. And his family his dad texted me this morning. He said, I'm a little depressed right now, realizing that Milan's not coming back. And he says, I never knew what football was. I never knew what soccer was, or not soccer, baseball was. And he says, I follow every game now of the Raging Cajuns. And he says, you got a Raging Cajun fan for life. So it shows the family that they are. And he came from a small town. I would like to say our athletic department kind of has that small town family environment, and he was a perfect fit, and what a great young man.
And then this season that he and the team put together, too, I mean, he won the Louisiana Classics back-to-back, first golfer ever to do that. I know you guys fell, just short trying to get to regionals as a team, but how cool was it to have him then qualify as an individual, and then this bogeyless streak that we're going to have to get into as well?
Yeah, he no doubt. He won 3 times this season. That's the most in program history. He marked the best season of an individual golfer in program history. It's mind-blowing. His regular season play, 10 events, he had 8 top 4 finishes. 3 of them were wins, an 11th place and a 12th place finish. It's remarkable. He did. He left his mark, and not only did he leave his mark, he showed up even more this season, helping the younger guys, and that meant the world to me as a coach to see a guy doing the magic that he's doing and extending that olive branch to the younger guys really shows even more of what kind of character we're dealing with. And and then the question that the world had for him was going bogey free in postseason play. It's unheard of. And he went bogey free in Athens, and he beat the number 1 amateur in the world, Jackson Corbin, who plays for Auburn. He beat him by 9 shots. And Milan is such a humble kid, and he really does not like to be coached up in an arrogant way. He does not like that at all. And I was hesitant to tell him this, but I said, look, I know you're humble, but you got to understand something. You just proved to the world at this regional that you're one of the best players in the country. And, you could see his eyes light up, and you could see his chest kind of stand up a little bit. And he carried that over to La Costa into the Nationals. Looking back, would I've rather see him bogey his first hole at Nationals? He probably would have won Nationals if he did that. He came out the 2 rounds bogey free, and halfway in his second round, the swarm of media just started circling, and he got interviewed 6 or 7 times by different outlets right after, something that he's really not overly used to, playing as an underdog, quote unquote, on our schedule. And it was sad to see him finish his final round the way he did, but he was just mentally and physically just drained.
And I know too, there's some implications of if he'd have finished top 25 and such, but I did have to think, like, it's got to be a good experience, as you say, in the old adage of not having any bad experiences, that's going to make him better as he begins on what hopefully is going to be a really good pro career. to have that, that experience of like maybe what it's like when you come out of nowhere to be leading a tournament and all of a sudden everybody's following you down the stretch. I imagine, as you said, with his mentality and his mindset, he's going to probably try to take a lot of positives out of that.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. He said to me right after the round of golf, that third and final round where he wound up missing the cut by a shot to advance. He told me, he says, Coach, every person in this world needs to be humbled at times. And he says, I guess this was just my time. I needed to be humbled. And, that just gets me teary-eyed right there just thinking of him saying that, but you're 100% correct. There's not a round of golf that Milan doesn't learn from and always dissects it on what can he learn. And that's, you hit it the nail on the head. We talked on the way home, that, he said, I'm going to have to battle my way through the mini tours. And he says, if I ever make it to the big stage and have some success, I'm going to need to learn how to handle it. And this is a great taste of it. And it is, he did. He had PGA Tour U sights in his eyes, and the media was pushing that. And I can tell you, though, he was locked in with where he was. And he wasn't locked up with any results. He literally, that back nine, he was just looked like a person that was hungover, and he was emotionally and physically hungover from a remarkable, unprecedented 5 rounds of golf, of bogey-free golf. He missed 7 greens in 5 rounds, and crazy. his longest par putt in those 5 rounds was about a 12-foot par putt. Now for the true golfer that competes, that's unheard of. So I'm kind of lost my train of thought on what I was trying to say, but he represented this university in fine fashion, and I'm super proud of him.
I know it can be pretty complicated, Coach, but walk us through a little bit of kind of what the next step is for him. I understand he's going to head out and begin, as you mentioned, on one of these smaller tours, and there's different pathways, and of course, the more you win, the faster you can move up. But what does the next year or so look like for Milan?
Yeah, he's gonna remain amateur. He has a lot of opportunities to represent South Africa throughout the summer. They have a national golf team that he's been obviously asked to be on, and so he is currently in St. Andrews right now, competing in an event that starts today there. He'll play a couple of other European events before the Arnold Palmer Cup, which he was included on, which another kudos to him. Typically the Arnold Palmer Cup, which is basically a Ryder Cup format of college golfers. You have the 12 best American born and raised collegiate golfers against the 12 best international. And typically those spots go to guys that compete at Auburn's and LSU's and Texas A&M's and, Oklahoma State's, where it's very, very, very rare. Dan McDonough and I were trying to look back. I'm not certain any mid-major has ever produced an Arnold Palmer Cup participant. And, what an honor for him to do that. So he's going to stay amateur through the summer, and then this fall he'll go to Q school, and he will most likely that'll be a DP World Tour Q school, not PGA Tour Q school, and he will most likely play his way through that avenue is what he plans on doing, where he would play the Sunshine Tour in South Africa, a very good developmental tour, with hopes of advancing on to the Korn Ferry equivalent in Europe, and then try to get on to the DP World Tour with hopes of battling through there to get his goal is to get back to Louisiana. In fact, he wants to come back to Cajun country and represent the Cajuns as a PGA Tour member.
And look, I certainly hope he does it. And I actually shared this story before. I had a friend that I was in grad school with at Florida State, Dan Bradbury, and he went over and ended up winning early on over there, ended up playing in the Open Championship a couple times, and he's had a lot of success doing it through the DP World Tour as well. Coach, but before I let you go, just talk to me a little bit about the team that is coming back. Obviously, with Milan departing, pretty big shoes to fill. But I know your son Drew and the rest of the squad. Like, what's the team looking like for next season?
Yeah, we after our conference championship, we had a good adult conversation, I'd like to say, with them, and basically told them, guys, this won't cut it next year. That you guys have a short summer to improve, and it's only way you're going to do that is through discipline and hard work, and they can because the talent is 100% there. Really hoping we also had a player, not by any means making excuses, but we had a player that we were really kind of relying on this year. Unfortunately, had some health issues, which put him in surgery and put him in the hospital, and wound up having him leave early and go back home and finish his academics remotely. But he is, I've been checking in on him, and his health is seeming to be really good. So we're crossing our fingers and hoping that he can come back 100%, and that would be Ellis Bright. He'll be a junior, along with the kid that transferred in here last year from Florida. Jay Brooks is another one that I think, the young team, and we had 2 transfer in, and we had 3 freshmen. So more than half of our squad was new. And you've been around sport long enough. Sometimes you just need that rookie year behind you, and you come back and you just kind of know how things work a little bit better. You know the culture a little bit better. You have a little bit better of a routine, and it frees you up a lot. And so I anticipate seeing that from this group. No doubt Milan did me a huge favor, and I told him at dinner, I said, buddy, you just sparked something in a 18-year-old coach that I needed, and you bringing us to the national championship really has motivated me to coach these boys up even more and to push them even harder, and to get back there. It would be bittersweet to take this team back before it's time to move on. So.
Well, Coach, I look forward to watching and following along with you guys in your progress. Thank you for doing this, and best of luck out there the rest of the week, as I said, and safe travels. We'll talk again soon.
Well, I greatly appreciate your time and your support of not only our golf team, but our entire athletic department. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Coach. That is Theo Slyman, head coach for Raging Cajun Golf. As he mentioned, still busy into the offseason, and giving some insight on what was a whirlwind of a couple of weeks and months, really, for Milan Potgieter and company, and wishing him the best. As he said, got some international stuff to do this summer, and then he'll get to work on what hopes to be a really successful professional career. All right, we'll wrap things up on the other side of the break. We'll recap the poll question results, give some final thoughts on that, and send you to AFR. This is the Lowdown.
This is the Lowdown with D-Loh. Live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
ESPN 103.7 Lafayette, 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana sports station, along with our friends over at Mid-South Power Solutions in Crowley, bring you this hurricane safety tip. Make sure to secure your home and bring in outdoor items. Have an emergency kit with water, food, and medications ready to go. Know your evacuation routes and listen to local authorities. Stay informed with a battery-powered radio, and remember, safety is in your hands. It is, of course, hurricane season. These things can sneak up on you. We know it all too well here in South Louisiana. Hurricane preparedness tips are powered by Mid-South Power Solutions in Crowley, your local Generac dealer. Visit midsouthpowersolutions.com.
ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is your home for the Houston Astros.
And the Astros stun the Mariners.
Hunter Brown, Yordan Alvarez, and the rest of the Astros are looking to get back to the postseason. You can listen to every pitch, hit, and thrilling victory of the Houston Astros.
Incredible!
As Robert Ford and Steve Sparks will be on the call. Tune in this season for live Astros baseball on Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Everybody's talking about the big, beautiful bill, and it's game-changing for taxpayers. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. We've read the bill, and if you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and get it resolved. This new legislation could give you a chance to get things straight with the IRS. Whether it's getting caught up on unfiled returns or negotiating IRS debts, there are a lot of new deductions and opportunities in the big, beautiful bill, and the Bryson Law Firm knows how to use them strategically. We've been staying on top of the tax changes in the Big Beautiful Bill, and we're ready to help our clients take full advantage. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm. The Bryson Law Firm, LSP filing number LA2519079.
Looking for a great midweek treat? Come to Mezcal Mexican Restaurant every Wednesday and Thursday and enjoy their sizzling fajita special. $13.99 plus tax all day long. Don't forget all day 2-for-1 margaritas. Are you planning a large party? Let Mezcal handle it. Call 337-484-3298 and Mezcal will take care of everything. That's a fajita special, $13.99 plus tax all day Wednesday and Thursday at Mezcal Mexican Restaurant, 3546 Ambassador Caffrey, next to Rooms to Go. Come taste the flavor of Mezcal. Black's Outdoor and Marine is Acadiana's Spartan Mower headquarters. Spartan Mowers delivering more mowing power and performance. Black's has commercial and residential Spartan mowers with Kawasaki motors in stock now and ready to cut. Black's also has parts, service, and financing available. Call 337-233-4272. That's 337-233-4272 or stop by 1423 Northwest Evangeline Thruway in Lafayette. Black's Outdoor and Marine serving Acadiana since 1968.
Your Honor, I would like to introduce exhibit number 1.
MeTV is America's #1 classic television network.
There can only be one number 1, me.
MeTV features over 60 of the greatest classic TV series each week.
Go with the winner.
Enjoy dramas, comedies, westerns, sci-fi, and more.
You just watch me.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
This is ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, broadcasting live from the Beal and Hebert studios in Upper Lafayette. Beal and Hebert, Acadiana's hometown lawyers. Back to more of Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
We continue on with the lowdown, and there's more good news for Ragin' Cajun baseball. Man, it's been a fun week it's not usual where the week after you get eliminated, the excitement level actually might increase for a program. That doesn't typically happen like that. But all these I'm returning posts have kind of gotten the Cajun fan base fired up once again, and we got one more. Ty Roman. Quote, let's run it back one last time, hashtag 113 on Instagram. That's a big get. Roman, remember, the Friday night starter to start the season, had some real struggles there in the early portion. Then all of a sudden, down the back stretch of the year, was super reliable, was rock solid for this Cajuns team, helped them make their run. And he is a big piece of what they expect to have back, and it sounds like he is committing to run it back. So Tyrone, that's a big get. I said it, like the pitching staff is the thing. All the young position players sound like they're on board to get back and run this thing back again. You got to get some arms to go along with it. Ty Roman's got 1 year of eligibility left, and he's using it to stay a Ragin' Cajun. So that one is pretty big. As I mentioned before, look, I'm still expecting this team to lose to Cody Brash to the MLB draft. Although let's wait and see. That can always change. That's a fluid process. He was two nails for that, in my opinion, to have any chance of coming back. But it's always a possibility. Chase Morgan, we'll see what the health situation looks like for him. But Sawyer Pruitt has already said he wants to run it back. And so, at least at the very least, you think about it this way, as I said, the baseline for this team to go into next year feeling like they're contenders is there. Now, you're losing 9 players in the portal who are a lot of your peripheral guys, a lot of really talented peripheral players. So you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to go fix that and bring in some new freshmen, which they already do like the class they have signed up. You're going to have to go out and get a couple more JUCO guys, and I'm sure you'll utilize the transfer portal for maybe 1 or 2 more slots past that. But, man, it is an exciting time right now. We did have some more transfer portal news, by the way, maybe on a smaller scale or just one that wasn't quite on our radar. Tate Hess, remember, he actually played for the Cajuns, then went and played for Dallas Baptist. He is transferring back to the home area. He's going to play for the McNeese Cowboys next year. So we actually saw Tate pitch against the Cajuns for DBU this year. But Tate, always had a lot of upside, and he's made a few different stops in his collegiate career, and now he's going to go pitch for Justin Hill and company. That seems like a really, really big pickup for Coach Hill this early into the portal cycle. So wanted to make sure to add that in. We've been keeping you up to date. Zach gave us the latest on some LSU transfer portal targets. There's some guys they're going after. This Gonzaga guy who's got crazy numbers that they're really looking into. I would imagine like into early next week is probably when you're going to start to see a lot of commitments. Just the nature of being in the portal, fielding calls, some of these guys are going to take visits, right? And then, weigh their options. Some of the bigger profile candidates who have a lot of options, right? They're going to do that. And so I would think next week and then, right around even College World Series time, you're going to still start to see probably some of these names commit. So if you're, an LSU baseball fan waiting on some of that news, I think you're going to get it pretty soon, but you probably have to wait a little while longer before you start to have a good look at what next year's team's going to look like. As we said, we already have a JUCO commit for the Cajuns. You have now a transfer portal commit for McNeese. So these things still going to happen at their own paces, but I think we're going to start to kind of take the top off of some of these commitment announcements coming up here pretty soon. Over at Muirfield Village, the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday. We told you about it earlier. Ryan Gerard, he unfortunately finished that red-hot back nine with a bogey at 17 and a par at 18. So he drops back to 5 under, still an incredible 31 on the back. He is tied for the lead with Tommy Fleetwood, J.J. Spawn, and Wyndham Clark. Nick Taylor still in solo 5th. Sam Burns, Justin Rose, Ludwig Oberg are all tied for 6th. Then there's a big group of players tied for 9th. That actually includes Scotty Scheffler. Scheffler's only done with his first 9 holes. He played the first 9 at 2 under, so he's got time to potentially do some damage on the back as well. Rory McIlroy, just a sluggish day for him. He finishes 1 under. Not terrible, but not all the way dialed in, so he is tied for 18th. Xander Schauffele joins him at that mark as well. So we'll have a chance to maybe update you on that leaderboard once or twice during tomorrow's show. As I mentioned, I am excited for tomorrow for a couple different reasons. The main one, though, in addition to Game 2 of the NBA Finals at night, we get Super Regionals all day long. We will have updates to give you during this show because Cal Poly and West Virginia will get things rolling in Morgantown at 11 a.m. It's an early start for them, but I guarantee you the folks in Morgantown are ready to roll. The scenes from that regional final, some of the shots they had afterwards, the drone shots and the high angles, unbelievable to watch the scenes that were in Morgantown. So we're ready for that one for sure. Appreciate our guests here today, both Coach Lyman and Micah Butel for joining us. Thanks to James as well. We will be back tomorrow to round out the week, 1 to 3 p.m. Same station, same streams, same everything. Until then, though, AFR is next.
This is your Chiropractic Expert Minute, brought to you by Dr. Quentin Briscoe, chiropractic physician.
Hello, I'm Dr. Quentin Briscoe.